Hi, and welcome to You Sure You're Good, our mental health awareness discussion hosted by the UTech JA School of Engineering, the CMU Faculty of Engineering and Applied Technology, and the UWI Mona Engineering Society. Yeah. So, as you know, for the entire month of November, we've been trying to ensure that we educate your minds on the idea of what mental health is, the long lost discussion that no one seems to want to talk about. I am Alex McFarlane, the School of Engineering President here at University of Technology. And to my right, I have.
My name is Fishana Bell, the president of CNU's Faculty of Engineering and Applied Technology Student Committee.
To my left, I have.
I'm Alisa Edwards, a mental health advocate and a member of Jamaica Mental Health Advocacy Network.
Hi everybody, my name is Chad Ratchery. Happy to be here.
Hi, I'm Niall Anderson, president of the Mona Engineering Society, and also share the same sentiments.
So let's get right into it. Mental health, what is it? What are we supposed to be discussing here today? And as we said, we have Ms. Alicia Edwards to bring us through everything.
Okay, so mental health, everybody has a different meaning of it, but what I like to say is it's peace of mind with what's happening right now in the present. So it's not worrying about what was in the past or what's to come in the future. It's being okay with being still and being in the present. And the different types of mental illnesses, there's depression, anxiety, the most common ones that people know. And you also have bipolar disorder 1, bipolar disorder 2, there's OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder, ADHD. The list goes on. There's a good amount of mental illnesses out there that a lot of people don't want to talk about.
So, what are the signs of these mental health issues that we have here?
Signs, okay, so you have withdrawal, like you want to stay by yourself, or for anxiety, you're constantly worrying about what's to come or what's gonna happen. With you also have mood swings, either you're sleeping too much or you're sleeping too little, eating too much, eating too little, nausea. There's a good amount of symptoms on there. Yeah.
So, with all of these, one of the reasons why people don't really talk about mental health at all, really, is because there are a lot of myths that are out there where people say, okay, this is a reason why you're going through this, etc., etc. What about those? What about the myths that are there?
Okay, so the number one myth I would say is people think mental illness has a look. Like, oh yeah.
Once they say, I'm suffering from mental health, you're a crazy person.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like you
Yeah.
look so happy, what are you talking about? A lot of people think that how your life looks on the outside should reflect how you feel on the inside. So you can't be driving a nice car and talking about you depressed. It's like you have a job and what? So yeah, a lot of people think that once you're doing good outside, you should feel good inside also, and it's definitely not the case. And I always say, for example, you go to a Jamaican parent, you're like, I'm depressed. What? You not paying a bill, food on the table, roof over your head. You're not depressed. You need to go to church. Like, and you think church can help it. I'm a woman of faith, but he helps those who help themselves. The resources are here, so we should use them.
So what about also for like even a lot of us as young persons, students at university, college, a lot of us, go through all of the silent struggles, but none of us really want to reach out and like go to, say, for example, the council unit that is on the campus. As a university, it provided here to be for our benefit, but not a lot of us are comfortable with that. What can you discuss on that point?
So the number one reason why a lot of people don't want to get help is because of shame, and the stigma attached, of course. And what I would say to that is, how you feel on the inside, nobody else does. So it's for you to put yourself first and know that you need to get some help if you want peace of mind to be like just having good mental health. And side note, you don't have to even be sad to like go to counseling or anything. It's just to maintain that peace of mind. The same way, you know, when you go to the doctor and you have a physical checkup,
So do a
it's
checkup.
just the same way to like make sure everything's going on good up here. Yeah.
Now, one of the next things that we'll be moving right into is the mental health of the discussion of mental health in males. in society. You know, we all know that sometimes we as men, you know, we talk about sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, this setting right now is for us to kind of come out of our comfort zone.
Yeah.
Let's start off with the idea of men, the stigma
Yeah.
of attached to men
Yeah,
and mental
enough
health.
cry after talk. I'm happy that there's more men here than women. I love that.
Just one more.
Love that.
So, let's, for those who don't know, which, you know, it would be a word for us not to know, men and mental health, what's that about?
You start.
Right, men, speak.
We can speak for you guys.
Well, personally, I am a man that I would have probably grown up knowing about the stigma, you know, living with the stigma. You know, as a Jamaican male, you know, it's even worse than ever before.
Yeah.
Or maybe a lot of persons over, you know, the world, because you basically will be going through a struggle and, you know, you want to talk to somebody about it, you tell your parents and say, but, you know, you lavish, you have a roof over your head, you get food that up to your date, and what's the problem? You know, I was one of those persons where, growing up back in Montego, where I'm from, I lived comfortably, you know, I'm not rich, but I lived comfortably. My family provided, you know, I always had a roof over my head, you know, I always had somewhere to sleep at night. So, you know, I was comfortable, but there are always times where, you know, we go through a little struggles, you know, whether we are in the house or outside of the house.
Yeah.
You get me? And they just seem to know what it's up.
But you know, let's still speak on that. As it relates to men and mental health. We even see it with COVID-19 where men don't want to wear masks. It's a stigma as it relates to men and health in general. Men, they don't believe, or we don't believe. No, I said them because I believe in mental health. I believe that mental health is important. I believe that a mask will prevent the exposure to COVID-19. I believe that I should get check-up for prostate and everything else. So, but you have some men that feel as if they are
Generally,
invincible.
not like-
Yeah, man.
Yes, and they feel as if that sickness or illness can't come my way.
Yeah, man, that can't.
And it's almost as if being a man is immunity, and it's absolutely flawed.
Toxic.
So, and it's all about masculinity and how we view what or who a man should be. And we have to change that narrative because let me tell you, it's when you look on gender and health, you know, persons who are dying is men. Men die more than women. And you know why? Because women go and get their checkups. The women go and ensure that they take their medication. Some men don't take medication, you know.
Oh, no.
So they don't want to do checkups. They don't want to take medication. I don't know how they expect to get better. And you have some men, and to be very honest with you, you have men that are very fearful of simple things like, you know, needles and you know, different types of illnesses and so.
Yeah.
So I think it's one, it's about masculinity, and two, are connected to fear overall in a society, and three, it's just not the in thing to do for men in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And you know, it's funny because I'm going to be honest. I went to the therapist after being forced to, because I had issues studying, and I always had issues studying. I don't know why, and I went and they were saying that that pre-diagnostic would have been ADHD. And that they actually it's funny that you said that some men don't take their pills, because I got the pills and I was like, no man, you can't just brush this off and so on. And it's like more and more I realize that it's okay to be dependent on these things. I mean, we're not perfect. So I mean, we really have to come to terms that sometimes you can use that as a help, whether it's going to the psychologist, whether it's taking those medication or anything of the sort. But boy, that whole thing you said, and then another thing that comes to ADHD is emotional dysregulation, and I realize that a lot of times when I express my emotions, it's like it's a crazy thing among my family members. So like when I go to the streets, I don't like doing that because like my family say, yo, man, I'm man if me not do it, you see me. So when I'm there with the thugs, me nah, you see me. Could I, you see me?
Now I said thugs.
I just want to add until mental health is normalized in the household, I don't see it being normalized on a wide scale. So it doesn't even have to be your parents, but you can be that one to like, speak up, talk about it. Because, yeah, it should be talked about in the house, definitely.
You see, I think, alright, so this is my little testimony, right? I've been, all week preparing for this event. I kind of been running away from it in my mind.
Yes, we're waiting on the testimony. Yes.
This week, I don't know about Nile or Kishan, this week as a UTech student has been one of the roughest weeks I've ever faced in my entire life. There was a lot of stuff related to school, the portfolio itself was heavy, especially this week having to represent students. And I'll tell you, earlier this semester, I think it was in September, I felt like I was faced with panic attacks a lot more. And I've never really recalled having a very strong panic attack as the one that I had. And the thing about it, the whole COVID thing kind of has changed me as a person. Starting the year off, I'm a dorm student, one dorm, one fusion, and I would normally be used to hearing, the gatherings around, the music playing on the dorm. And the most important thing as a dorm student, especially at my Donald Ferguson, all that I love to hear, the knocking on the door. And I could not, for the life of me, hear that coming back to learn this semester.
Yeah.
And having to adhere to the protocols, which is for us to protect us.
Mm-hmm.
It casts a dark shadow that, even though it is for our own benefit, it causes us to kind of, lose up what we're normally used to. And especially I know that it hit me. I knew I was having something wrong, but as Nile said, you probably wouldn't have, paid it much mind. It was when the day the university got closed down for COVID-19 case. And I was just in the middle of sending a message to the student populace from Engine that, alright guys, this upcoming week, you need to do this, you need to do that, because at the time it was when students were just going back to school and they needed to get information.
Mm-hmm.
Boom! UTech emailed me. Emailed all of us saying that the school was closed because of a confirmed COVID-19 case. It was a Sunday, I think it was about 10 o'clock, I won't forget it. And I felt all efforts that I made to ensure that people knew what to do for the next week just came crashing down because it pushed them back even further because COVID-19 confirmed case at the school. No lecturer now will come to school. No administrative staff now will come to school.
Yeah.
We as dorm students going to be even more restricted. It was just chaos, and I sat down and I put down my phone for a while. I always have my phone down. I put my phone down for a while, and I was like, and I just started to realize that I started to drift off from not focusing on the schoolwork anymore. I started to drift off into being more procrastinating a lot more than I normally used to. I would like I do procrastinate. I'm a student.
Same.
And, I just realized that nothing started to stick, and what I even further realized as the weeks went on is that I sit in front of a computer screen on a daily, and my eyes just won't retain anything that is coming on the screen. I'm in my class, we have the big word, the big phrases, the ballot form that I will have to remember, and nothing at all was, in my mind at the time, and along with some other personal matters, we have finances for school to have to worry about, we have our social life that we also have to worry about. And for all of us here, we have a portfolio that we have to adhere to, because even at the time when we are struggling what we're going through personally, we still have to be strong, not even for ourselves, but for the entire student population that we represent, and it goes to even a wider union body for all three of our universities here. And I was running away from it. I won't lie. I felt kind of like a darkness coming around me, but I was running away from it. I wasn't running it the right way. And it was when, and I really do say this a lot, God now sleep.
Never.
I felt like he sent my relative who is overseas, who is actually studying physiotherapy as well as psychology or whatever. Like she said, since I don't know her from anywhere. I only met her one time, right? And it was over a Zoom meeting, and she was like, "How you doing?" And something was telling me to tell her exactly what was going on. And she basically said that you're having a form of ADHD as well. You get me? And you know, I later on went to at the doctor's over by the campus here, and you know, I started to go through a few of my own personal emotions. And it was really me bringing myself back out because for me, I don't know about now, I don't know about chat, but you can't come to me and talk to me about mental health. But at the time, it's like, Alex, it's time. And what made me know even more is that I have to do this not for myself, but for the people I'm representing. Because if I fall off form, you know, it's not going to be expected that everybody else is going to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did it for the right reasons. One for myself, and also for the person that I represented. And you know, I ended up getting a little bit of treatment. I started to do a bit more self-analyzing of what was going on with myself. Yeah, and you know, it started to get better. I still struggle a little bit now, but it's a lot less than what I was going through then. Yeah. And what made it even worse is that my mom threatened to me. So I was having a conversation with mommy, I think a few weeks after I realized that I had it. And I like, mommy, like, what's happening to you? I haven't heard it so long. I tell mommy, say, no, so I'm going to a bit of stuff here. My mother cursed me out. And tell me, say, let me tell you something. You're one people, only child of 22 years. 22 years. No, 22. My only child of 22 years.
Folks, that did not happen.
If you don't decide to leave from Kingston, come back and you're home, me come take care of you, I will come to you. My mother's another like the chaplain. My mother tell me, said she really believe. All the way from Antigua, St. James, from Kingston, come look to me in a day by time.
I have the highway now, so it takes less time.
It's really something that opens your eyes to realize that you have to do better. And it's something that is really serious. And it's even worse now because the untold stories pile up more and more.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine for the persons who are probably at home consistently. Around ourselves, well, around myself, on the north, it's a bit easier because I talk to the peers and I have to be the bigger person because of the portfolio I have. Instead of saying, enter, you get treated. But you know, like when you give advice but you don't take it, that was me at the very point.
Yeah.
And then I took my own advice. I would move. No, I'm moving on to green things right now. So, it's a very good progress now. I don't know about Nile, but I really now have something else to say.
But I just wanted to, I'm going to allow now, I just want to just emphasize something here. Several persons believe in Jamaica that mental health is, they look on, so if persons who have mental illnesses are those just the madman them sit on the corner side.
Or if you're physically at a low point in life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or you don't see one person fine yesterday and then you don't see them go off. That's what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how it's perceived. But sometimes it can just creep up on you. It's not even something so drastic where sometimes you don't even feel yourself drifting. And you're getting depressed, you get inside, you don't know what is happening. I've been in situations like those. And two, the second point that you made was so significant. There are so many persons that are at home. They used to have their safe haven, or you know, where they used to go and get away from home. At school, at the library, at TGIF, which I went last week, at so many different places. But sometimes just like dorm life and all of that, and so many persons are now forced to be at home. So, you know, there's just so many untold stories, so I had to emphasize that. Go ahead now.
Yeah, but
sorry.
You can continue.
I wanted to raise. I mean, I just wanted to bring back a little zoom in on the conversation regarding the whole idea of student leadership and mental health. Because I mean, for one, I know that there are lots of students they're going through a lot now at home, as you said, because I know that one student she got physically sick because of her mental state. Like the amount of stress she was under, she got physically sick. Like she called my phone and saying, hey, she swears she's catching COVID and most COVID makes you feel so sick and so on. And I just tell her, say, oh, she needs to start taking it a bit easy. She had to reach a point where she had to decide to drop courses because she couldn't go beyond it. But that's what I want to ask now. What is the point? Where do we say there's a line where it's where we walk away or where we decide that, hey, there are certain things that are not worth my mental health. What's that line? Is there a line?
Yes.
I asked myself that a few times, and there's not a lot of answers that you can come up with. Because I'll tell you another thing that I realized happened to me. I wouldn't really deal with mental health, but it's really the stress that I came under while this entire COVID thing happened. I think it was around in May. I was at home. We left off Burma from UTech in March, and we've been back home ever since. And in May, I was doing the regular work. We just started the portfolio. We're getting to understand this. We're at the meetings. We're advocating for the students, all these things into the academic life and financial life and so forth. And at the time, we also had final examinations doing. As a student, that second semester of 2019-20, moving from face-to-face to online was point blank hell.
Crazy.
The lecturers didn't know how to use the software, they weren't trained to use the software. And it was just trying to catch up.
Some still
Right?
don't.
Some classes had some courses had no further classes ever since school locked from March. There was nothing further. Grades were still outstanding. Nobody knew what to do. Lectures would have just sometimes pop up and say, oh, alright, here's a piece of work, please complete, etc., etc. And I remember waking up one morning and I just started to cough. I was in my room by myself and I just started, and then the week went on and I started to just cough more. I started to feel like I was getting a sore throat. I wasn't really getting a fever, but I just started to realize that I'm starting to breathe. And then at one point, I really thought I had caught it because my chest started to tighten up. And I was starting to lose my mind in that house. And it's like, now I'm telling one, I said, Mommy, look here, like, that sweat I didn't like it. Now I'm a dead baby, but I'm not starting to love you, oh God, I'm not starting to pray at night time. And everything, I'm going to say, I started losing my mind, but then when we look at it now, somebody, one of my good colleagues from UTech here, Emilio Hayes, he was the past joint college representative on the UTech Students Union here last year. He sent me an image of the signs of stress. And I had all of them. Every single one that showed there, I think maybe just one, but I had basically every sign that was there. And what I did, I just took a break for 3 days. I tried to accomplish as much as I could the day, so that I don't have to do anything over. I try to adjust my time frame for what I had to accomplish. And I just realized, I started to feel better. The chest pain started to go away, headaches, I took something for the sore throat. I started to feel better. It started to get, better for me. But then the question you asked me now, where do we draw the line?
Right.
Wow. What answer do we have for that? Because the school work to do.
Alisa?
I really don't know what to tell.
Okay, so just to backtrack a little bit, so you see when you have 2 weeks consistent of you being down or stressed out, that's the time to seek help. Don't wait a month, 2 months, and then go into a year. Don't wait, because you see the sooner you get in, sooner you get help, is the better for you. Waiting it's just like you wouldn't wait 3 months after you broke your leg. you know, you go and see a doctor instantly. So the same way we prioritize our physical health is the same way we should our mental health. Just wanted to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just answer that, where do you draw the line? I mean, you have to think what's worth it at the end of the day, you know.
Have boundaries for your
You
mental
have to have
health.
boundaries for your mental health. And what I would recommend to everyone that's listening is that have a space for you that is only for you. Nobody else can touch it, nothing else can touch it. But have that space and that inner peace within you so that nothing can ever trigger that. Because if you allow yourself to fully be consumed by the stress of life, because there is stress every single where, every single place. I mean, at home, school, student leadership. I mean, Niall was telling us how stressed out he was at some points. And it's not just Niall, I mean, several of other student leaders across Jamaica.
Yep.
Because we are put into a very unique situation now where student leaders are being called upon to have initiatives, to have different projects to try and relieve the stresses that have been brought by COVID-19. So we have to draw the line. If you realize that you're going in a particular direction, stop yourself, seek help. And even if that assignment, I don't know if you can talk to the lecturer, but even if the assignment is due and you feel as if, no, you have to, at the end of the day now, what is more important? You completing the assignment or are you going
insane?
Exactly. So you have to choose.
I touch base on that. I remember, I think in October, I sent an email to all my lecturers. I had 4 different lectures. I have 5 courses during the semester. I have 4 lectures, 2 for 1 lecture. I sent an email to all of them. I said, I'm currently going through some internet issues. At the same time, I'm falling back behind in class. You know, I would have learned from, I think it was the president of the University of here, Khalil, had mentioned to me. What you need to do, you need to reach out to your lecturers and inform them of what is happening because they're not going to read your minds. So, you know, if you're going through something, especially something as serious that affects your health, email your lecturers, communicate with them, and tell them, you know, this is what is happening. And I would have gotten a response from about 2 of them about the day after and say, I hope they're doing well now. Because to be very honest, a lot of them, you know, even though maybe sometimes I have our own views on lecturers and teachers and so forth, a lot of them they care about certain things like this will happen because, you know, as persons in society, your health at this point in time is more important than ever before. You know, so you say that you just reach out to them, you know, you say that you know this is what you're going through right now, you know, tell them that I'm making an effort to catch up, etc., etc. Just make them know. And to be fair, my lecturers responded to me telling that, you know, I hope you're doing well, you know, I hope you're seeking courses and so forth, you know, message me anything regarding this and so forth that we can see how best we can work through this. And that's where alternatives kind of come and play a part in here. One of the most important things I tell my students here is that ensure you communicate with your lecturers, even if maybe you don't see eye to eye all the time. You see, you'll be at fault if you don't make them know what is happening. Because if you're supposed to come up one day and say that, okay, you know, I missed this because of this and etc., etc., then, but you didn't tell them before that this will happen whenever it was supposed to happen, then it works less in your favor.
Yeah.
You get me? But I'm not gonna lie, just like your friend, I almost jumped out 2 on Saturday. 13 laps in honey by Monday.
What about females now?
Yes.
Yes, we want to hear. Yes.
For females, the topic is not really taboo, but talking about it is still a problem because we don't feel comfortable most times to talk to people in general.
Yeah.
Because we are left to say, oh, you're strong, you can go through this, you can navigate through this. And, we're just left to try to, alright, I'm sad, oh, what's happening, right? But I was on a podcast, on a friend podcast, with an older mate, and we were speaking on mental health, and 3 females, me and the other 2 co-hosts, and they were saying that there are times, during university, there are times that they were just there, that they don't know what's happening. They just consistently felt sad, right? And it was when they went to the university counselor and spoke identify what exactly is triggering that feeling. Right? But for me, I'm a girl who kind of just tough it out most times. But since this COVID and transitioning from being active every day, going on the road, talking to my friends,
Right.
you know, make a one link up here and there to just stay home every day. That hit me. That hit me like in June. When school finished, you don't have any assignments to worry about, but you're just waking up every day, wake up, eat breakfast, alright, breakfast, alright, go on phone, go on Twitter, go on Instagram, scroll through, alright, had it, alright, hungry, cool. Then after that, go back to the social media platforms and eat, and then we've been doing that for weeks, and then we're like, is this my only reason for living? Like, is this only like what? And at one point I just said, no. I had to talk to a couple of my friends and they're like, guys, are you going through this too? Because sometimes I feel like as if you are the only one going through that particular situation. But it's when you actually put on pride, right? And then you go to your friends that who you can trust, because you're not going to everybody and say,
Right,
you know,
right.
sometimes I'm say word. Right? And I spoke to them and they're like, yeah man, right? And once or twice we probably link up or we'll have video calls or we just laugh. Cause that laugh can just take off one bag of stress, right? So yeah, for us, well for me, as I was saying, it's COVID something. Like Ron, you just sleep up. I don't think that is happening anytime soon.
Ron,
And
leave
as
it,
well
go.
as what Alex was speaking about, this being responsibility to students and such. I think this is lately, this week, because we had a lot of deadlines to meet. Even now I'm talking to you, I'm not okay. But we have to keep strong, and at times when we feel as though, you know, this is literally the last straw. We can't go no more. But it's after we
Last
actually
straw.
execute and we say, alright, this is very strong. So next one. So we have to just take it like this one. I told Alex like one assignment at a time, one day at a time. Don't look on the
big
quantity.
picture.
Yeah. Don't look on the quantity. Just do them one step at a time.
And I was remembering from the same podcast they had introduced me. So we have a little one who with me now like Krishana, and you know she sent me this link for a podcast and I said, alright, you know, so now take notes from this podcast, but especially for events like this that we're keeping now. And the one phrase, I don't remember who said it, but I quoted it and you know it stick to me. Anything what you need to do to protect your mental health, no watch no face. Just do it. But ensure that at this partner, ensure you do it safely, especially in time. Just to scoop up in it. Like, listen, I've had discussions with people about this from my dorm, from the university, consistent. I said, what is happening that we're here in front of the computer screen 24/7. You get me?
Class finish, alright,
Class
finish, then assignment.
And then when you move from assignment, you move to
Meetings.
either meeting. When you move from meeting, you move to either YouTube for watch a one video or you play a game or something. You move to something that is consistently being you around a screen. And we all know how, especially the old people in Jamaica and older people in Jamaica, the reason why you're hiding out while because you have a little phone screen in front of you. Now we have it now, and it is now more than just the eyes, you know, not functioning properly now. It is our mental, it is our brain having issues now. There was this one YouTube advertisement, they call it eye killers, the screens that we currently have to be using now, and that even had to lead to some person getting special glasses to, you know, limit the view, the blue light that is coming from the screen, you know. So, really and truly, no watch no face. Your mental health, I tell it a lot of people. Your mental health is paramount. If you lose your mind today, any money we are spending come on university, then now return that that now
Yes.
again. And even though in some views other people might say that you're disobeying the law and you're fighting against the system, in my view, it is a two-way street, and sometimes it merges to one way. You have to know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because you knowing that okay, you're supposed to protect this yourself and abide by the law, yes, that is completely fine. I understand that. When you look at it as the same part now, the same things that you're used to, you can't get to do anymore, and you have to be trying to come up with new ideas, and sometimes that's not easy. Doing something continuous is easy. Coming up with new ideas is very hard. So it's really just it's a two-way street that sometimes merges to one, depending on how you look at it.
But
Where should I begin? The whole reason that I got into mental health was that in 2017, after my brother died, it was a very low point in my life. I didn't even think I would make it out. But so how I dealt with it, I would just sleep. And when I tell you I had no appetite, I would just sleep. I wake up at like 5 p.m., get a snack because the meal was like too heavy. And then probably by 5:30 back to sleep, and then that was it. Like that was it for a good couple months. And then my mom realized that okay, something's going on. I'm gonna set up a meeting with a therapist. I'm like, who? I'm not going to no therapist. I'm like, no, I'm good. So what my unhealthy coping mechanism was drinking, partying with his friends.
Drinking juice?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's ask you.
But that one therapy session was like, I'm not gonna go back because the misconception a lot of people have is that once you go into that therapist's office, it's like okay, cool, like alright, I feel better, and it's only like that after like a couple weeks after you've been going consistently, because sometimes I've left the therapist's office crying. Sometimes you feel bad when you're going and feel even worse when you're leaving because you have to face yourself and look within yourself and not only what you're showing on the outside. So it was tough, but eventually, I'm here. So yeah, that was my running with mental illness.
So from both genders, what advice would you give to the students that are on the line, or the students that will eventually see this message? What do you give them as signs of hope for what they're doing?
Okay, first, you do not have to be strong all the time, every time. I know that we like to say, oh no, I'm strong, or we like to tell people, stay strong. You don't have to. You don't have to be strong all the time. At some point, you're like, you know what? If you say you love yourself, then take care of yourself. Take care of your mind, because once this is off, trust me, everything is off. So yeah, I'll just say put yourself first.
Chad,
Repeat the question.
what would you advise the students? She will speak for the person of the male generation. What would you advise them in terms of keeping yourself safe?
Well, what I would say is the line in itself: love your body, treat your body right. I learned that from the Ministry of Health. And that was for their Jamaica Moves campaign, but it still applies to mental health. You have to love yourself. And that's the thing about mental health a lot, is that a lot of persons are depressed because they don't have self-love, which was a next subtopic that we didn't touch. So you have to love yourself, and you have to think highly of yourself and value yourself. As it relates to what are the things that men can do, exercise. Exercise is one. So I always say another line. I have a lot of lines. Lego your stress, bust a sweat. So exercise, and sometimes that helps to relieve, and it kind of removes yourself. Anything that can remove whatever stress is happening in your life and can just give you a pause.
In a healthy way.
In a healthy way, yeah. In a healthy way, for sure. Do that. Keep a journal. Well, I know men may not be.
Men don't want to listen.
But
It's good to get them out.
that's true, and men are not writers. That's across the board. Meaning you don't want to be writing about your issues and stuff like that, which I understand. But you know, any hobby that is healthy like that, where you can, you know, write and do several things. COVID-19 has presented us, I believe, with an opportunity and a chance to do several things that we weren't able to do before. Meaning things that we were always making excuse that we couldn't have done because we didn't have time to do it. So yes, we have a pandemic. Yes, we have a crisis, but I believe that there's an opportunity in every crisis. And it's up to us to make the best use of that. So like me, I never know how to cook before. I couldn't cook. I don't even know how to cook rice. I'll save that one. But I didn't know how to cook, and since March when school closed, I mean, I am now a master. Since March, I can do my shrimp, I can do chicken, I can do any meat that you give to me. I can do rice now perfectly. So, sorry?
Bobby Flay.
and you know, so many different things that I've learned to do so far, because I was always that busy person and always making excuses that, you know, I don't have the time for this, I don't have the time for that. Persons are at home, and the reality is that we're in this Christmas season where the Ministry of Health already say expect extension of measures, because we're going to be expecting a next wave. Nobody needs a breakdown now. I'm not saying that this is pandemonium now. What I'm saying is that we have to we expect to be at home for coming in 2021, and it's not something we can run away from. So we have to really, it's a conversation where Alex is very hard, because some persons don't have access to certain things as well, which is another issue. So I can probably watch Netflix and, did I almost say that? Netflix alone, let me leave it there. Netflix and relax. There we go. Netflix and relax. Time out. But it's serious. There are persons who don't have access to the internet. So I mean, where you can watch a movie, because I was watching John Wick the other night. It's first I watching that movie, and I was like, wow, this is a good movie. But you have several different things that you may not be able, that other persons are able to do. I'm like me, I live in the hills, so I can probably go for a walk. There are some communities that are under states of emergency, zones of special operations. And I don't think we fully understand up to now. There is no concrete study that has been done to really give us an oversight of what each student is going through. Everybody does think that it's just a one hat, and you just put it on everybody and think and generalize it. But everybody have individual issues. And let me tell you, the Children's Authority, I don't remember the name of the agency. I think it's the Children, no, I'm not going to spoil the name. But the Children's Agency, and they were saying that they can't even imagine how many cases could be out there about, you know, abuse of children and so on. Because children don't have an avenue. I mean, you normally get reports based on when they go to school.
Right.
You'll see, you know, teachers pick it up and so on, guidance counselors. Same thing for university. Because guidance counselors here at UTech, CMU, UA, they are the persons who would have been the persons to be detecting issues from persons at home. Or you can go and get an outlet. Another thing that I forgot to speak about, this should have been probably the first thing. Get a support system.
Oh, yes.
Can I get an applause?
Yes.
So a support, no, but very seriously, a support system. And not a support, and listen very carefully to this now. You don't want to carry your business to everybody. Anybody. So when I say support system, it's persons who are for you. Yes? And sometimes person's support system may not be in the family.
Yeah.
Because we know how families can be. Sorry?
Or inner circle.
Our inner circles. Sometimes you have to, it has to be a friend or something. But the point is identify who that person is. Detect that person from now, even if you don't have issues with mental health. Always ensure that you have
Right.
somebody in place, in contact, that you can reach out to whenever you're feeling depressed and whenever you're feeling lonely. There are several persons that have support groups that they go to as well, meaning that you have a group of friends. So I heard Alex, Niall and Kishana, they were saying that you guys had some online meeting? Group chat?
Yeah, group chat.
Yeah, so you had a group chat. So think stuff like that helps. I mean, I know Empress Golden, she always talks about her women support. She has her friends and they call every Friday night. So I mean, something like that.
Not to cut
Yeah,
you,
man, no
a lot
problem.
of people, they confuse support system and therapy. So
Mm-hmm.
although your friends, they're your support system and
Yeah,
that's
they're not
very
your therapist.
important, they're not your therapist.
Mm-hmm.
So, you still need to get that help.
Yes.
I think that's out there.
And the last thing I will say is learn to smile more. Smile more. Because, let me tell you, no, issues will always come, But the way how I've trained myself up here is that issues will always come, but how do I respond to it? And you can't throw in the towel every time because that really affects your mental
And
health.
the toll of a pile up.
The towel like a pile up, yeah? You guys have me feeling depressed because I'm here thinking of, like when it does bring back everything all at once. But that's how I manage. I smile even throughout the storm. Smile keeps, it does a lot for you. It does a lot. And just your perspective on life. Just ensure that, you don't feed yourself negativity or bring down hopelessness on yourself. But having a hopeful mindset helps. It may not always be realistic, and that's the other thing about it. Stress. I'll tell you something about stress. Stress is caused by unrealistic expectations. Meaning that we set targets and goals that we want to achieve by a certain time. It have to achieve XYZ time, and if it doesn't achieve by XYZ time, the whole world.
Like you're talking to me.
No, man. No, we have to talk the things them really know. So that was happening to me at a particular time. I was stressed out because I had expectations that were unrealistic.
Give me shirt.
So student leaders need to hear this. Because student leaders think that they can sometimes do the whole world. And you have to understand that you guys are human beings as well.
Burnout is real.
And burnout, I have gone through that. Burnout is real when you reach a certain point in the semester. When you're not feeling any energy, any motivation for continuous study. Once you reach nobody never reach that point yet? You don't have no motivation.
I know now over there. Feeling it.
When the dream up, I make me feel like this right now, so
That's not what Alex used to do. What you do?
No, but the thing is that this is something that every student is experiencing from all these institutions that are here today. And this is a conversation for them. And it's good that you guys started this initiative because there are some persons who believe that mental health is only important in October when it's mental health awareness and jump on the bandwagon and say, oh, everybody wants to support mental health. Everybody wants to support breast cancer in October. No, but it's serious. And I say to them that you can't only just have campaigns that are for just 1 month. It's an everyday thing. And I like these forums because the message more needs to be out there. Mental health information needs to be more accessible to Jamaicans. And the Ministry of Health has a role to play in that. I believe it's 3% of the national budget contributes to mental health, that dedicated to mental health.
The therapy in Jamaica is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I'm like, You guys say you want mental health to be normalized, but it won't be normalized until it's affordable.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the thing is that Jamaica is the only country in the Caribbean that has a mental health institution like Bellevue. We don't. There's no other one like Bellevue, meaning having a dorm where persons can go on and to live on and so on in the entire
Wait till it
Caribbean.
gone already before we fix it. That's where our focus is.
That's so we have to have more. It can't just be 3% of the budget, man. I mean, physical health is important, the different diseases and so on. But if, as what you said, if your mental health gone,
Which is why I think that
no matter how much abs you have, the 6 pack.
exactly.
Alright, not there, but the 6 packs. That not matter because 6 packs have got huh?
That's why you
Are you guys okay?
Not they good?
I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
Nah, you're sure you're good.
No, but the 6 pack now don't matter because up here so gone.
Like
So
in high school and primary school, you have PE. I'm like, why are we not? Okay, we've been knew the importance of physical education from we're like this small, but mental health is like okay, and I mean they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So I feel like
I true because them
Yeah.
talk about sexual health and all them things, but
Exactly.
them not talk about mental health.
No, I just realized it's not in the
About
syllabus.
it.
Crazy.
It's not. I'm
That's
like,
crazy.
imagine how different the world would be if we knew everybody, what you taught the basic signs of a mental illness. It would be.
You start a conversation there. That's something. That's food for thought.
There is one thing that Chad had said earlier that patient is giving me time to talk and so forth. It's something that I actually want to touch base on, which is the issues that the students can be having back at the home level. You know, I had a conversation 2 weeks ago with the president of the Auguston CDC, Andrew Curtis, and some other members of the community service department at UTEC. And they were saying that basically, a lot of the things that are happening right now with Auguston has to start at the home level where it is really, the warfare that is between the communities done by Auguston starts at the home level because somebody has retribution to have with other persons, and somebody has died and so forth. And I'm looking at it like this. Everything, if you look at it, starts from the home level. Like how I said, I would have been going through certain things when I was young. Back in high school, there are a lot of things that I wasn't knowledgeable of. I wasn't focused on other things. I can't go home and talk to my family about it because, like, my father is this type of person, and my mother, as supportive as she is, sometimes cannot manage. You get me? And it is
I remember our parents weren't really educated on
yeah,
it.
it's something that you can't really argue about just because of that happened. They're not really aware of certain things like this. But I fear, and what I also want to bring to this point, we had an event earlier in our tenure. I think it was about May, where we spoke about the minds of COVID affecting us. Engine Richard, that was it. We spoke about COVID affecting us on different bases, financial wise, mental wise, academic wise. And one of the points that were brought up in one of the sessions, I don't remember which one exactly. You can only imagine how it's like being at home currently with an abusive family. Right? The time that you spent away from your family was your peace of mind. You need to go to school and so forth. For students who maybe had to, board on campus for the month that they were, away from home. It was a joy to them.
Yes.
But then, going back home, going back into a setting where, your family sometimes fights against each other, fights against you, or something of the sort. You can only imagine how it is rough on them right now. And to be very honest, it actually sparked something into me to create some form of, awareness and stuff like this, where we need to stop the abuse that is happening at home because it goes hand in hand with mental health at the end of the day.
Of course, that's traumatic.
Naturally.
That's a very traumatic thing, and at a time like this, it might not be even something that if they go through it any longer, they can come back from.
Yeah.
So it's really something that I want to see more action taken upon in terms of what is going on at the home level right now. The few of us that are lucky enough to board off campus, board on campus, away from the homes, whether we're coming from the western side of the country or whatever, or where
Definitely. And I just want to touch on something that I think every one of you guys shared with social media use during this time. We're literally plugged into our screens, and that's not healthy for the mind at all.
Yeah.
Because what happens is, it's a pandemic, and you see somebody just bought a new car in the middle of a pandemic, and you're like, wait, what am I doing? I need to,
Yeah.
it's like we're competing with what someone's putting up. We're competing with their highlight reel. It's really damaging to your mind, and that's why I always say have boundaries around social media, because it's really not good to intake that every day, and the information overload. You're seeing everything that's happening in the world. It'll get frustrating. It's not healthy.
And what people need to understand as relates to social media and mental health is that people portray the best of themselves on social media.
It's a highlight reel.
So it's a highlight, yeah. So persons don't understand that. Like they don't recognize.
Right.
You
think that
it's like a subconscious thing. You
Very
just use social media. You don't even realize the effects that it has on you.
You don't realize it's scrolling, and it's like 2 hours and it's still scrolling.
Oh, I mean, okay. I dare everybody that's watching this right now. Check your screen time every single week. How much you actually spend on social media?
On iPhone.
Right.
On Sunday. One message in the early morning.
But
Yeah.
yes,
sir.
there's this burning question by somebody in the comments, Gary Reed, and it seems to be burning him, and I think it's burning me as well. So Gary's saying, So he's saying, what's the first approach, a step to address mental health situations? He's saying that we can list a lot of things, which is good, but what is the first realistic step?
First of all, we need to actually identify that we're actually not good.
We're not what?
It's okay.
We're
not
not
to be okay.
good. We're not good.
And that's
Because
okay.
we usually, when somebody asks, so how are you? The immediate answer is just say, sir, I'm good.
I'm a good man.
But
Good one.
we need to say, I like smoking so often, so then it becomes the truth. So you say
Yeah.
you're good, no means say actually you're just so nice, you said. So you need to identify, say, I'm really not good. And it's that time you actually speak about it.
So recognizing a problem.
Yeah, recognize it and acknowledge it.
That's the first step is that it has gotten over.
Yeah.
And
Or you don't have to wait till it
take
gets
it
over.
You can also realize, something happened. Like, for example, if you know that you're having, and this is something about my father, if you know that you're starting to feel sick, you identify which part is sick, whether you feel like your body is getting hotter, or you feel like you start feeling a little feeling in your throat, where you said the last time you get a sore throat. You take a one pill and you take some nutmeg, that is what my father used for sore throat. Cut it and you put it in your mouth and that is it. So, you see the signs from early, because in the back of the mind, you know that there's something wrong. You just don't immediately accept it because you think that it's not something that you have to worry about.
Yeah.
But, you recognize that there's something wrong.
As I said, over a 2-week period, you realize this is consistent, then yeah.
Then it's somewhere where we have to address. What you say, you
I was going to say something, but it just totally slipped me.
I hate when that happens.
I hate it as well. Okay, yes, there we go. Right. Light bulb. So
Swag.
look at that. So what I wanted to say about this is that mental health is not mental health back in 2019 before COVID-19 came. What's happening now is a serious issue because persons are going through what people are now calling COVID fatigue. We are tired of COVID. We're tired. It's an understatement. We're tired of lockdown. We're tired of quarantine. We're tired of them new terms here were coming in March.
Tired of curfew.
Curfew. So the problem. So where do we start in all of this? Is we have to, as you all said, we have to identify that there's a problem, and we have to be each other's. How the line goes? Brothers keeper, and we have to support each other through these tremendous times. I mean, COVID-19 is going to be something that's going to be written in history books. Yes,
Yeah.
it's going to be something
For sure.
taught. It's going to be something spoken about for several years to
Yeah.
come. But we have a problem. But the biggest thing about the problem is we can sit down and talk and we can sit down and frown our face about the problem. But the only way we can get through this, because COVID, even if we get a vaccine, the long-term effects of COVID will still be with us.
Yeah.
Mental health is going to be one of those big issues. We're going to have a mental health pandemic.
Listen, I strongly believe it's going to be PTSD after this. For sure. Which is post-traumatic stress disorder.
You know, you know.
Yeah.
Dr. ask that, but so we have to ensure that we respond to this in a very serious manner. And we have to take responsibility, just like how we take responsibility for our health, meaning wearing our masks. We have to ensure that we take responsibility for our friends and our family and our loved ones, because this is the only way we're going to get through this, is by getting through together.
But you know,
You have more questions?
You know, I was just saying that, like, I think Chad said the word lockdown and the start about that coffee song.
Coffee,
And, like,
yeah.
I'm so upset with coffee because, like, she put out this bad tune and, like, and there I was, like, hopeful. Me say, when she said, where will we go? I mean, I said,
Yeah, she gave
I'm
us
look, me not go nowhere. Me upset coffee.
We were so hopeful.
There was one thing I remember, like, at the time during the early days of COVID, I used to actually watch the discussion that the Prime Minister is always every evening. There was one thing that he said that resonated to me consistently. Regardless of what is happening, do not cancel your plans. Make your plans, stick by them, but make them safe under the protocol so that you can still enjoy it regardless. And I think that's a lot of what persons in the country, if they have it, should be doing right now.
And I like that, just to piggyback on that very quickly, we have to, and I like that, because what we have to do, sorry, I sounded way too excited a while ago. You don't have to like so
Yeah.
you just have to say it.
Yeah.
So you have to normalize the situation here. Meaning that we're going through a change, we're going through a shift. And as normal as you can make your environment, meaning how you're used to living. So like at high school, they wear the uniforms. So as many things as possible to make it make it feel normal. Do that as much as possible, so that it lessens the effects. It kind of takes your mind off it a bit. I mean, these are simple things, but simple things do help.
Definitely. And I think at this point we can wrap up basically. I think we've touched base on a lot of things here. A lot of things that are basically, even right now, there are a lot of things that I wouldn't have recognized, especially like the type of depression, the type of mental illness that I feel, and even what the nine and child I said, you get me?
Alex, speaking in the mic.
Oh,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah.
So, it's a lot of things that, it has opened my mind and has opened my mind, I think, of all of us right now here on the panel and the persons who are watching that. Mental health is not a joke, and, it shouldn't be something that we think is a stigma, because if at this point right now we continue thinking it's a stigma, I would think there's a lot more for us moving forward in life, especially given that there is going to be, and quite possibly a lot of PTSD for this coming like next year and year after and so forth. But ultimately, I would like to thank, the members of the panel that are here, Kishana Bell from CNU, Alicia Edwards, China Trinidad, and I'd like to thank them for being here for this initiative, for our joint campaign. Myself as well, I'm the one talking. And, as well as the viewers who are here and the individuals who have interacted with us on the chat and so forth. We want to give you a big thanks, for helping us make this initiative possible. And it's really about sparking the conversation that people don't like to have about mental health in us as university students right now, college students, high school students of all ages and so forth. We thank you for everybody for being here, and we hope to have this discussion
Just one
in
think?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave you with it that it's okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to not stay okay. Should I
Say it
repeat
again. Say it slow.
It's okay not to be okay. It's okay not to be okay, but it's not okay to stay not okay.
Now I wanted to say something, I believe.
No, yeah, it was
Yeah,
just.
take it in.
I mean, to be honest, I just wanted to say in concluding here right now, like there was a point at which you were talking, and it's like
Who?
it really you
Me?
you were yeah, like, and it really hit me that I'm not to be honest, I'm not okay.
And that's okay.
and
I'm not okay.
And I really need to come to terms with. I mean, even though to some extent, as Alex has been saying, I usually tell people that X, Y, Z, and so on. It's like it really hit me that, hey, Niall, you're not really doing it. I mean, this was a real eye-opening experience, and I think after this, I'm actually going to go about and I'm going to actually go seek help on the matter, like, because
And be patient with
Yeah.
yourself because it's a progress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's like a sprint, it's a marathon.
But I think too, those for me, my final words on everything today is thank you guys so much. And last thing for those who are viewing, mental health issues is not a death sentence. It's not something terrible like how people make it out to be sometimes. Like, oh, mental health. No. It's something that is across the world. It's not just in Jamaica. It's something across the world and universal. And as long as we check up on ourselves, check up on each other, I think for certain we can. And I'm not saying that we're going to always be okay. Every single person is going to be okay. But as what Alicia said, say it again, Alicia, one more time.
Oh, it's okay not to be okay, but it's not okay to stay not okay.
So don't stay not
Not
okay. That's the word. Yeah. It will come. It will sneak upon you sometimes. But you have to know your body. You have to know your mental space, and you have to be able to know when to take a break. And I think today I'll be taking a break. Yeah.
I'm taking a break.
Also, it's important to note, slow progress is still progress.
Yes.
Yes.
No matter what you feel like, it's taking too long. Once you keep making those small steps, right, you're going to get to the bigger picture. Also, I just want to thank Alicia and Chad for coming today.
Right,
No
indeed.
problem.
I agree. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
This helped us as well. Help me. Right?
It's nice to have this conversation because since last year, Jamaica has been having more conversations around this. Because even recently, Saturday had one with Wayne.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You had one with
Yeah.
a podcast called Harry Rises. More conversations around this.
But the thing about it is that even as us like public speakers, we have our issues because we are tired of Zoom. We're tired of having virtual. So I mean, when Alex tell me, let me tell you something. When Alex told me that, he
It
said
might be a
possibility that way. I was like, no, but never want to show. Well, not that bad, but no. When he said that it was being kept at UTEC and it was a physical forum, I was like,
Yes.
praise Jesus. Finally, something physical. I can see some people can share some space.
energy is
Energy.
Yeah.
When you're upon a call and you have to try to speech, let me tell you this: everybody, them video cameras off and everything,
Yes.
and it's just
we are the
terrible.
fire, you know,
It's
the
terrible.
fire.
You're talking to a blank screen. So, guys, thank you so much.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah. I'm sure I'm not good now, but
See again for more issues like this among us as they represent the bodies from UTEC, JA, School of Engineering, the CMU, Faculty of Engineering and Applied Technology, and the URIMONA Engineering Society. Right, so stay tuned for more issues like this done by the three of us. And yeah, we look to see you. I look forward to seeing you guys later on in the academic year. Hey guys.
Alright. Thank you for coming out. Bye. Have a beautiful time.
No, so gnarly. Look like the conversation there hit you hard, man.